On today's video, I am going to be showing you all how to create dashboard and also how I've used the dashboard to show transparency on dependency. And I'll also show you how to create a quick filter on how I've labeled tickets dependency and I track those dependency on using the dashboard. Well, first, we're going to create the dashboard, and from there, I'm going to show you how I've tracked dependency on Jira. Welcome back to Aisha Scrum platform. I'm very happy to have you all again, and let's go back to it. So, in the dashboard on Jira, so you look at the top, you see if you look at all the way at the top in these features, you have like the projects where it can show you all the projects you have in your Jira, filters, and you have here that says dashboard, and also people and more. So for me to create dashboard, I have to come on that dashboard. So they have this arrow down here. So when I click on the arrow, the drop down arrow, it shows me like all the other dashboard I have on this project. And these are dashboard I've created in the past. And if I want to view all dashboard, I can come here, but in this point, that's not what I want to do. What I would like to do is to basically create dashboard. And to create a dashboard, for the most part, anyone can create dashboard. Or maybe I know maybe to sometimes companies they might have like different access, but I think for the most part, anyone can create dashboard. You can even have a dashboard specifically to you, and you can also have access to dashboard to others, depending on how the dashboard itself was created. So in this case, we're going to create new dashboard by hitting create dashboard. So when I create dashboard, as soon as I click on create dashboard, it shows me this place where basically I'm going to look for my dashboard name and the description if I would like to, the viewers, like who can actually view this dashboard, like I was saying, because sometimes some dashboard is made publicly and some dashboard is made private. And also who can edit it. So that's that editor. And based on how you configure that, then how you're going to save it. So since my goal later on this dashboard, I'm going to call this Aisha Scrum because I plan to have not only about a board on dependency, I plan to also have maybe like created versus resolved, like any other metrics that I want to track and bring transparency to. I will do that on this dashboard. So you can use the dashboard for like multiple use based on what you're trying to achieve, right? So that's why I'm here going to call it overall with my project name, which is Aisha Scrum for this particular project. And I'm going to call the description all things Agile and Scrum. That's what my YouTube video is all about, all things Agile and Scrum. And viewers, I'm going to make these viewers they have different options on how you want to put the viewers. You can put viewer by project. And when I do viewer by project, it will now show me like what project I want. Should I just choose project or by group, or by organization, I can make it private. So in this private, that meaning that that's only me, I can view it, me that actually created. So let me say by project. So if you notice as soon as I click on project, it showed up, another icon showed up like, okay, so which of the projects? So what are all other projects do I have? In your company, it can show you all your company's projects. And I'll just click Aisha Scrum. Then if you notice, it showed me more icons. So like basically people in this project, what roles do I want people to have access to the viewer? You can have this as all, you can have this as administrator, or you can have, because I didn't invite people in this board, so that's why it's only showing me administrator. Had it been invited like team members or developers or anybody else, it will show us here like members or dev, PO, BA, but because this is like for demo purposes, so that's why it's not showing me all of that. So let's say I want to have this as private. And when I do private, if you notice right away, it shows only you. That means me only. And if we put it by my organization, then you have to, any logged in user by Aisha Scrum at Lancia.net, meaning that anyone that I've given this link to, anyone that I've given this access to, meaning everyone in your organization basically can see this dashboard. And in this case, I'm just going to have it as project because I only want people that have access to Aisha Scrum projects. Then I'm going to put Aisha Scrum. Since right now it's only me, I'm going to make it like admin. So basically, because I'm the admin for this board. So that's why I can do multiple configurations here. So when now I like that, so then I'll just hit add. So that's that for the viewers. Remember, this is just for the viewers. And for the editors, like who will basically have access to edit this dashboard or able to change things around, move things around. For the most part, in this case at work, I've always made this me only. Except maybe I work with colleagues that I want them also to have the privilege to edit. But for the most part, I've always have my own dashboard and I'll be the only one to edit. Then of course, for the viewer, I will have it for the whole people in the project or my team based on what I'm trying to achieve. And for the editor, I also have the same different types, like either by project, meaning that everybody in the project can edit that. But it's very important to try to limit editors as possible so it won't mess up your whole data that you're trying to create or even later on go back to. So I'm going to make this private because I want only me, and automatically when you put it private on Jira, automatically make it like only you, meaning that it's just me. And for that, I just hit add. And now that's added. But if I put this to projects, and it's also going to do the same thing, I put Aisha Scrum. So meaning everyone in Aisha Scrum, they have this access and they're administrators. And I hit add, they can basically edit. So that's another way you can do it. But I think I'm going to move it back to private because I want this to be private. And I hit save. So ta-da! So now we have our dashboard created. And if you notice, it has like different layouts in this dashboard, and we can adjust and readjust this layout as we see fit. But this was the project, the dashboard name I had when I was creating it. I called it Aisha Scrum dashboard. You can even add dashboard maybe if needed, but I didn't see the need. Then we can add Gadget. If you notice already on the right-hand side already, they already loaded up a lot of the Gadget already in this Jira, automatically loaded up. Sometimes doing your job, you might have to click on load all gadgets for you to see all other type of gadget or stuff you can use. But in this case, this Jira is the latest one, I think. So that's why it's very quick and fast. And this already opened all the gadget out for me. And for the layouts for the dashboard, right now I have this. I have like two slides. You can have like one data in here. I can have another graph in here as needed, but I can also change this layout by coming up here at the top. When I click change layout, it shows you like different types of ways how you want your layout. You can want it like 2-column layout or 1-column layout, because 1-column layout will give you like the full exact view of the whole dashboard layout. Or you can have 3 columns layout. You can have left sidebar, meaning that you want the left side to be bigger than the right side, or the right sidebar where the right side would be larger than the right side. So let's just play around with this. So let's just, for example, I want full 1-column view. As you notice right now, we have 2. So I just click on that 1 column. Ta-da! And we have 1 column now view. And to add gadget, which we'll do later on, I will show you how to do that. And let's do the 3 column. There you go. Then it turns it to like 3 columns. And if you want to enlarge the left side and make the right side smaller, you can do that. This is just showing you layout. So later on, if we do add the gadget, how the data or the graph or whatever it's going to look like. This is the same if you change it to the right side. So as of right now, I'm just going to make it like 1 column view because I want to make it like one view of all the items I have in Aisha Scrum on Jira. So on here now, so that's the layout, and you can refresh this by just clicking on that to refresh it. And since I'm already the only person that can edit it, so you can see these 3 dots right here. That's where you can also edit. And if you do not have the access to edit, you might not even see the 3 dots at all. So for me, because since I own this dashboard and I created this dashboard, it's going to show me that I can do all of this configuration. Basically, I can rename my name currently that I have. Maybe let me say I want to rename it. So it's going to bring me back to this page what I used to create. So I'm just going to call this Aisha Scrum dashboard, then save. So now automatically it changes up there. And let me click that 3 dots. I can configure the refresh. I can view as wallboard. I can move to trash basically. And it also shows me more options if I want to create multiple other dashboards. So that's that for the layout, if you want to change that layout and stuff. So now if I want to add gadget, there is 2 ways I can do that. See at the top here that say add gadget, and gadget is just this this other data you have, like depending on what we're trying to achieve. Sometimes when people create dashboard, they just like needed more reports than what's already in the Jira reports column. And the Jira reports column, you already have the burn down chart, velocity, cumulative flow diagram, lead time, cycle time, and you might be asked to run more data or they wanted more report. And then most of the time, that's where you'll create this dashboard. So add more data, like to look at all the issue types you have. They have like different types based on what you're trying to do. So now to add the gadget, I can either choose the one at the top, or I can even hit the add new gadget, this blue column, or right here at the top. So let's say I hit this add new gadget right here. And it's already loaded all of this open out already. And let's say I want to have this the gadget of issue. Sprint health gadget. This is another simple, quick way I can do this. I can just hit add. So now that I hit the sprint health gadget and I hit add, so it's going to ask you to choose to now make this configuration before it can now show in your gadget, right? And these are other different quick glance you can use to quickly see about your sprints, right? So here I'm going to choose my AIS board, which is the Aisha Scrum board. Currently I have a sprint going on, and I can click all of this, like show board names, show sprint name, or you can really uncheck or check assignee if I want to show up that, but I don't want to do that in this case. And the kind of sprint is not going to ask me what sprint do I want to show. I can just have my sprint 1, which is the currently sprint that I have. Then I will do like update every 15 minutes. Then I click on that because I want it to continue to update it. And I save. Ta-da! So now it gives me like a whole summary about my current sprint. This is very good, especially if you have like maybe you're part of a large team and you want to quickly see how the team is doing before you start your daily scrum. You can use the sprint health gadget, which basically it tells you the to-do. Right now, it's not showing us to-do because I don't have any to-do tickets on the board. Or had it been I do have a to-do ticket in the board, it's going to reflect on here. But this sprint is telling us we have 0 days remaining in this sprint because the sprint is 10 days because I created that from our previous video, if you recall. I created that. And it's also telling me I've completed 7 story points in this ticket. And remember, this 7 and 3, it's counting story points, not the issue counts. It's saying here story points, because that's what's showing here, right? It's a story point in estimate. So we've completed 7 story points, tick tags, and also we have 3 remaining. And so far, we have 70% of our work already been completed. And our time, we have no more time left because it said that we already used all of our time at 100%, right? So our time elapsed is 100% because why? We have 0 days remaining. And scope change was 0 because sometimes if there's a lot of scope changes, you'll see this as red. Sometimes it goes up to like 200% because yes, I've seen that in the past. But right now is 0 because I didn't add or remove stuff a lot in this sprint. But if there was a lot of scope changes, like a lot of removing stuff, adding stuff, changing estimates, reducing estimates, it's going to reflect in the scope change here. But since we didn't do that, so that's why it's showing me 0. Let's say I'm going to add a ticket to this board, and let's see if it's going to show the gray bar. It will, because but just to show you all for educational purposes. Let me go back to my board. And I come to backlog. Let's just create a scope change. Let me add the estimates to this task. I'll give you like a 5 story points, and I hit a check mark. And when I click and drag, and one thing about Jira, if you make any little changes here and there, so now Jira is telling me that, oh, sprint scope will be affected by this action, because now that I'm adding 5 story points, so they're already ongoing sprints. So Jira is warning me that I'm going to be creating a scope change, and this will also definitely reflect in our metrics, right? So AS6 will be moved from the sprint backlog to the product backlog to the sprint backlog. So it's telling me that if I would like to confirm these changes that I'm doing, which is yes, I want to confirm that. So now this task is already now in to do. And for me to verify that, I'll go to the board. And right here, this is the task. This is task in to do currently. And then let me go back to the dashboard that I just created. Come to the Aisha Scrum dashboard, and there you go. So now the sprint health gadget is showing that I have 5 story points in to do. I have 3 story points in progress, and I've completed 7 story points in this sprint. And if you notice now, the sprint change, the scope change just went up to 50%. It went up from 0 to 50%, right? So this is another way you can quickly do some kind of quick health check on your sprint to see the progress and how it's going. Let's say you come to a daily scrum 3 days ago, you notice that this was 0, and you log in on Jira, you go to your dashboard and you look at the sprint health gadget, and you see that went to 50. So that's something, it's alarming, right? So that's something you can help raise quick question and look at the sprint report and look at the burn down chart and also the board, right? And start looking at what happened and ask questions. So when you now do go to the daily scrum, you can ask about the scope changes that happen. So that's another way you can do this data. So there's multiple gadgets you can add or move on here. So this is just one of them, but you can create as multiple gadgets as you can. And that's this on how to create a dashboard. And if you, let's say you want to move this layout, and you can edit. And when I do edits, I can add another gadget. And to add another gadget, so I'm just going to go to, let's look at this created versus resolved. That's another good metric you can also use sometimes, depending on what you're trying to achieve. Like you're going to look at what was created in a given time. So I go back to add. So when I click add, then it's going to ask me what projects filter do I want to use for this. And I'm going to use already my current Aisha Scrum project queries to fill that in here. So then I'm just going to put Aisha Scrum right here. That's going to show up. So then it's asking me the period I want for the when it was created and resolved. I'm going to put the period as for the past month. What happened, like that happened monthly ago. The length of period represents of the graph, which is that's what I want. The days previously, I want 30 days. I don't want it more. And collection operation, if I want it accumulative, or count, I want it account. And you can do this however you want to do it. There's no right or wrong way of doing it based on how you want your graph to look like. And display the trend of unresolved. Yes, I want the unresolved issues to display. Display version, only measure version. I want it at all versions. And also I click update every 15 minutes, then save. Ta-da! So now this also now show me this graph of created versus resolved for the past 1 month. How many tickets have we created in this project in general? Because remember, that's what the query is. It is for the overall project. And if I want to make this like about user story, like how many user story have been created or how many epics have been created or future, I can also change the queries first before you can now add it to the dashboard. So it's just telling me for the past November the 3rd to December, I've actually created 7 issues and I've resolved 4 of them, meaning completed. And also it tells you around where in the graphs, like the peak, I created 0 and I resolved 1. And the graph, like basically read that. So the red graph is the created and the green one is the resolved. So there's different ways you can do a quick glance with this dashboard depending on what you're trying to get out of it. So now let's say that we want to track dependency and we want to look at ways how we can bring one click and look at all our dependency tags on Jira. And I know I've explained this in my last interview question and answer about SAFe, like ways how I've tracked dependency. I know that I was talking about it. Maybe it's also better for me to show you all on how to, what do I mean by all those explanations? How can I show it here on Jira? And if you missed my video on how to answer dependency and SAFe PI planning questions in my last interview question and answer, you should definitely look at that. And if you've been finding my content valuable, please like and subscribe to my platform. I appreciate you all and I appreciate your time, the watch time you took in to watch all this video. Everything is definitely appreciated. And for my new subscriber, I welcome you all and you are in the right place. We learn about everything Agile and Scrum and also to help you successful in your role. And if you are interested in mentorship, don't hesitate to email me at jalloaisha1@gmail.com. All right, so now let me show you all how to track dependency or how I've tracked dependency. If you notice my last Jira video, I showed you all how to create a label, right? And I did tell you all, I called the label dependency and I labeled some of the tickets because the goal was for me to basically later on show you all how I've done it to track dependency using the labels. So some of the tickets that I use, like the last video on how to create label, I labeled like this ticket, this bug issue, I labeled this as dependency because later on my goal was to create a queries, to save the queries and then create a dashboard on all the dependency tags. So the first thing I always do is to identify those tags that are dependency, that have some kind of dependency, and I'll also link it dependency. So from my created old dependency and label it as dependency, it can be dependency 1, or you can call even the team dependency. You can create as multiple labels as you want. And I've labeled that this ticket that I deem that have dependency to some stuff or some team as dependency. So I go around and do those first and label all those tags. When I'm done labeling all them, then I come to the filters to create a queries. So now bring out my list of tickets. Sometimes you can see this by all issues on top of your Jira, depending on how your Jira is. So let me go to advanced issue search. And this is basically all the issues I have on my platform. And if I want to do a quick search, I can definitely just put my project key on the search column at the top. Which is, I know my project is AIS, and I hit enter. That's like a quick search to show all the list of issues I have on this project. So I know in all of this project, I have like 20 issues. So this shows me everything, but I'm trying to create a queries whereby it will be only the dependency tickets that will show up, because I need to save that in order for me to add it to the dashboard to bring transparency on that. And for me to do that, I have to create a JQL queries. And for that, I want it still for the same project. I can either use the project key or I can also put my project name. right? Aisha Scrum. And when I do that, and it's gonna hit, as soon as you hit the space, Jira can automatically help you, show you what's gonna happen next. And I hit end, and I'm gonna put labels. Equal space, I'm gonna call it dependency right there. If you notice right now, I have 20 issues. That's all the issues I have in my current Aisha Scrum project. So the goal is for me to only bring out tickets that are marked dependency only, that have this label dependency only. So then I hit search. Ta-da! So I went from having everything I have in my project to now having only those tickets that I labeled that have some kind of dependency now showed up. So I went from 20 to 6. So now that I've saved these queries and all those tickets only I've showed, I'll now save this as, you hit save as, because you have to save these queries, because if you don't save it, it's going to disappear. Save it, I'm going to call this the dependency1, or you can even put the team name or something, but this is, remember, this is your own, as a team, your own dependency tickets you have on your own board. And you're just trying to get them all into one space so you can easily able to identify them easily by using your dashboard. But the first step is to first label it. After you label it, then you now create the queries. So now I hit submit. So now this is saved. So now that I've saved this these queries, so now I have to go to the dashboard that I already have, which I already created the dashboard as Aisha Scrum dashboard. And I go back there. And if you notice that I came back to this dashboard, it's showing me the previous list of data I have here, like the Sprintel gadget that I have. And I also have this created versus resolved that I have. But now I want to add a new gadget. If you notice, they're all going to be under the same dashboard, because this is my space, this is my dashboard. But I'm now going to have those the dashboard. So then I'm going to edit so I can add the gadget. So now I go to add gadget. And to add the gadget, if at work, I know sometimes you have to load all gadget for you to even see all of this list. For my current Jira, I do not have to do that. So the gadget I'm going to be using is called the filter results. So that one will give me more data right here. It's called filter results. So that's the gadget I'm going to be using for this dependency tracker and the visibility in the dependency tags. So I hit add. So when I do hit add, so it's going to ask me for the save filter. So that's why you must first create the filter before you come to the dashboard to add all of this. If not, you won't have the right number of the right filter involved, because that's the first steps. So that's why I did that first prior to coming to creating the dashboard. So then I'm going to click down the arrow. So this is the dependency one that I just created on the labeled one. So I click on that. So it's asking me how many issues that I want is 10, right? It can be 20, multiple, there's no any limits. The maximum is 50. And the column to display in this board is Jira is now asking me what column to display. I can have issue type, that's important. I don't know if I have a story, a bug, or tags, subtags. So it's going to tell me that. The key, like meaning the project's key, that's what that key is about. The summary can tell you, like, summarize the tasks you're working on. Priority, that's important. I know one thing too that I use at work is status. The status of the tasks, and also you can have assignee, like who is working on it, to want to follow up. You can have the epic link, so it can show up the epics that's related to those tasks or bugs. You can also have the team. If you have external teams that's working on it, it's just your own team. You can also have, you can add as multiple fields you want. And one thing too that I like to add to is about the fixed version. So in case it's part of any release, these issues. I know I'm going to show you a video later on about fixed version, but there's no any fixed version on that. What else can we add? Priority, very important, the status, the assigning the epic, the teams that will be working on it or who is working on what, the fixed version. And you can even click down the drop down arrow. It can even tell you a lot more categories you can use. It has like different types. Due dates, which is also can be important if there's due dates on the epic. So that's something you like to see. The epic status, if you want to see all of that, the issue color, the labels. I'm going to definitely add labels because I want all other labels too that shows, because maybe in case I add the labels that are a team specific, they're also going to show up. And there's a lot more. Epic color, image, issues, the parents link, reporter, meaning who wrote the ticket or wrote any of those issues. If you want to follow up, that's also something important so you can use. And I think that's that. So basically I can have all of this in one glance, like start date, due dates, and all of this other thing you have up there. So now that I've have all the columns that I want it to display on this board, I have the issue type, the key, the summary, priority, status, assignee, epic, team, fixed version, labels, and report. So I want this to be updated every 15 minutes. So as changes are being made to those issues, I want it to reflect on this graph. So I'm going to put updates every 15 minutes. So now let's save. So when we save right here, so now we have the one glance view about this dependency. So now we have the issue type, there's some bulk tickets, you have some stories in here. It's telling me the status. Some of them I've done, some of them it's already in to do. It's not even been started worked on yet. So that's something you can follow up on that dependency. So it also has the priority, like this is like something that's critical, the highest priority, that's medium, right? And also there's an epic that's already been linked to these issues. The epic's gonna show assignee, like who is working on them. So that's something too we're gonna need to follow up, right? Or if you wanna send up a follow-up email. And also the team, like if you work in a company that's in a different team, that's something too you can link up so we can know which team is working on what. The fixed version, like when they plan to even release this work. And also the labels that you have. If you have multiple other labels, it's gonna show up. And the reporter. And the reporter is the person that actually wrote the tickets. And I wrote all of these tickets, so that's why it's only my name here. This is just for demo purposes. So basically, this is one glance how you can have all your dependency tickets in one glance. So you can, it's going to automatically update itself. And you can, every morning before you even start daily Scrum, you can just come in here and look at everything so you can know who to follow up with and how you can follow up in ensuring that this dependency has already been resolved. So then I hit done. So yeah, so that's how I've done it in the past, and this has been so helpful. And you can do as multiple queries as you want with this to further bring transparency in your board and add more gadget and all of that, and how to create label, how to create a sprint, how to create a project. You can look at my Jira series. I started from the scratch. I started this Jira from how to create a whole project, start a sprint, look back at my Jira playlist and watch all of those from scratch. And I hope these contents have been valuable to you. And if so, like and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate and thank you all for watching and participating. In my next video, I'm going to show you all how to maybe do quick search queries on Jira and also how to close a sprint. Thank you all and see you all again next time.